The capture the story opens aboard the massive warship Starbreaker, flagship of the Galactic Empire's Third Fleet. Princess Vera, heir to the throne of the Galactic Empire, stands before a reinforced containment cell. Inside sits a human male, named Jack, the sole survivor of Earth's destruction 3 months ago. The Empire had expected Earth to fall within hours. Instead, this single human had somehow destroyed their entire invasion. Fleet of 50,000 ships using nothing but primitive Earth technology. Now he sits calmly in their strongest prison, showing no fear. "You destroyed my father's armada," Princess Vera says through the energy barrier. "How?" Jack looks up with tired eyes. "I did what I had to do." The princess studies him. Humans were supposed to be weak, primitive creatures. Yet this one had accomplished the impossible. Her military advisors whisper that he must have alien help, but their scans show he's completely human. "My generals want to execute you," she continues. "But I convinced them you might be useful. Tell me your secrets, and I'll make your death quick." Jack laughs softly. "Death? Princess, I'm not the one who should be worried about dying." His words send a chill down her spine. How can a prisoner speak so confidently? The scene shifts to show flashbacks of the invasion. The Empire's ships arrived at Earth, expecting easy victory. Humans had just developed basic space travel. Their weapons were laughably primitive. The invasion should have taken minutes, but something went wrong. Terribly wrong. The human fleets were indeed destroyed quickly. Earth's defenses crumbled. But then Jack appeared in a single small ship. Using tactics no one had ever seen, he turned the Empire's own weapons against them. He hacked their systems, caused their ships to fire on each other, and somehow made their flagship explode from within in 6 hours. The mightiest invasion force in galactic history was reduced to floating debris. Back in the present, Princess Vera reviews the battle footage again. Her military experts still cannot explain how Jack did it. His ship was ordinary. His weapons were standard human technology. Yet he fought like someone who knew exactly what the Empire would do before they did it. "Perhaps," suggests General Kane, her top military advisor, "we should study him instead of executing him, if we can understand his methods." "You want to learn from a primitive human?" Princess Vera asks. "This primitive human destroyed our most advanced fleet," Kane replies grimly. "Maybe we need to reconsider what we think we know about his species." The princess visits Jack again that evening. The prison block is heavily guarded, but she notices something strange. The guards seem nervous around the human, despite him being locked in an unbreakable cell. "Why aren't you afraid?" she asks Jack directly. "Because I know something you don't," he replies. "What's that?" Jack stands and walks to the energy barrier. "I know how this ends." His confidence is unsettling. Princess Vera has conquered dozens of worlds. She's seen brave warriors and desperate prisoners. But Jack is different. He speaks like someone who's already won. "Earth is gone," she reminds him. "Your people are dead. You're alone." "Am I?" Jack asks with a slight smile. That night, Princess Vera cannot sleep. Something about the human bothers her. She reviews all the intelligence reports about Earth. Humans were supposed to be divided, primitive, and weak. They fought among themselves constantly. Their technology was thousands of years behind the Empire's. Yet Jack had fought with perfect knowledge of Imperial tactics and technology. How was that possible? The next morning brings disturbing news. Long-range sensors detect unknown ships approaching from the outer rim. The signatures don't match any known species in the galaxy. Could they be human? General Kane asks. "Impossible," Princess Vera replies. "We destroyed all their ships." But doubt creeps into her mind. Jack's confident words echo in her thoughts. What if the Empire had been wrong about everything? What if destroying Earth wasn't a victory, but a terrible mistake. As the unknown ships draw closer, Princess Vera realizes that Jack might not be their prisoner after all. He might be their judge. The first part ends with Jack standing calmly in his cell, looking out at the stars through a small window. His lips curl into a knowing smile as distant explosions light up the darkness outside. Right on schedule, he whispers. Princess Vera's empire is about to learn that underestimating humanity was the last mistake they would ever make. The revelation: the unknown ships arrive within hours, and they are unlike anything the Empire has ever seen. Sleek, dark vessels that seem to absorb light itself. They don't respond to communication attempts, and their technology readings make no sense. Princess Vera rushes to the bridge as alarms blare throughout the Starbreaker. "Report!" she commands. 50 ships, unknown design, Admiral Ross announces. They're not using any propulsion system we recognize. They just appeared. Appeared? One moment space was empty, and next they were there. Princess Vera's blood runs cold. She thinks of Jack's confident words and his knowing smile. "Get me a tactical assessment immediately." But before anyone can respond, every screen on the mass bridge flickers and displays the same image. Jack's face, but not from his prison cell. He's standing in what appears to be the command center of one of the mysterious ships. "Hello, Princess," Jack says through the communication system. "I told you I wasn't alone." "Impossible," Admiral Ross gasps. "He's in maximum security." Princess Vera spins toward the guards. "Check the prison block now." The guards rush to the containment area, but Princess Vera already knows what they'll find. The cell is empty. Number: signs of forced entry, no disabled systems. Jack is simply gone. "How?" she whispers. Jack's image continues speaking. "Did you really think we hadn't been watching you? The Empire has been expanding for centuries, Princess. Eventually, you were going to reach us. We destroyed your world." Princess Vera shouts at the screen. "You destroyed a world," Jack corrects. "Earth was just one of many human colonies. Did you think we'd keep all our eggs in one basket?" The revelation hits like a physical blow. Earth wasn't humanity's homeworld. It was a colony, probably one of many. The Empire had been deceived from the beginning. "The humans on Earth weren't warriors," Jack continues. "They were farmers, artists, families. You murdered civilians, Princess. That was your first mistake." Admiral Ross studies the tactical displays with growing horror. "Princess, these ships, their energy signatures are off the charts. Each one appears to be more powerful than our entire fleet. Your second mistake," Jack's voice continues, "was thinking you could capture me. I wasn't running from your ships when you found me. I was leading you exactly where I wanted you to go." Princess Vera realizes with growing dread that Jack had allowed himself to be captured. Everything had been planned. "Why?" she asks. "What do you want?" "Justice," Jack replies simply. "You've spent centuries conquering peaceful worlds. You've destroyed countless civilizations. You call it building an empire. We call it genocide." The scene shifts to show flashbacks of humanity's true nature. Hidden colonies spread across the galaxy, each one more advanced than the last. While the Empire thought humans were primitive, they had been developing technologies the Empire couldn't. "Imagine, we've been preparing for this day for 200 years, Jack explains. "Every world you conquered, every species you destroyed, we documented it all. We studied your tactics, your technology, your weaknesses. You were studying us?" Princess Vera asks. "Of course. Did you think we'd just let you keep murdering innocent people? We've been watching every move the Empire made. When you finally reached one of our colonies, we were ready." Admiral Ross interrupts urgently. "Princess, they're powering weapons." Energy levels are ... This is impossible. Each ship has more firepower than our entire battle group. Third mistake, Jack continues. You assumed we're like you. Violent, greedy, eager to conquer. We're not. We tried to avoid this confrontation for centuries. We could have stopped the Empire long ago, but we hoped you might change. Princess Vera's mind races. If humans had this power all along, why hadn't they used it? Why let the Empire continue its expansion? Because, Jack says, as if reading her thoughts, we don't enjoy killing. Unlike your people, we don't celebrate destruction. Every life lost weighs on us, even yours. Then why are you here? She demands. Because you left us no choice. Earth was our final test. We put our most peaceful people there. No weapons, no advanced technology. We wanted to see if the Empire could show mercy to a defenseless world. The weight of that revelation settles. Over the bridge. Earth had been a test, and the Empire had failed catastrophically. You murdered 3 billion innocent people. Jack's voice grows cold. Children, elders, artists, teachers. People who had never harmed anyone. That was your final mistake. Princess Vera looks around the bridge at her terrified officers. For the first time in her life, she understands what her victims must have felt. The Empire had always been the predator. Now they were the prey. What happens now? She asks quietly. Jack's image flickers, and for a moment, she sees something that chills her to the bone. Behind him stand hundreds of other humans, all watching, with the same cold determination. Now, Jack says, you learn what it means to face humanity when we're truly angry. The judgment the human fleet doesn't attack immediately. Instead, they do something far more terrifying. They wait. 50 ships holding position around the Empire's massive fleet, their dark hulls pulsing with contained energy. Princess Vera stares at the tactical display. Her fleet of 200 ships suddenly feels very small. What are they waiting for? Jack's image reappears on the main screen. We're giving you a choice, Princess. The same choice you gave to every world you conquered. What choice? Surrender and face judgment for your crimes, or resist and face destruction. Admiral Ross steps forward. Princess, we can't surrender to primitives. The Empire doesn't bow to anyone. Jack's expression doesn't change. Admiral, you're thinking like a conqueror. We're not here to build an empire. We're here to end one. You can't judge us. Princess Vera shouts, we are the rightful rulers of this galaxy. Says who? Jack asks calmly. The billions of dead civilians? The destroyed civilizations? The enslaved species who still serve your empire? As if summoned by his words, the communication system activates with dozens of new signals. Species from across the galaxy begin broadcasting messages to the Empire fleet. But these aren't surrender demands or pleas for mercy. They're testimonies. A reptilian alien appears on screen. I am Commander Voss of the Kelton Resistance. My world was conquered by the Empire 50 years ago. They killed my family, enslaved. My people. Today, we stand with humanity. Another signal joins in. This is Captain Nira of the Zephyrian Liberation Front. Our children were taken to serve as Empire soldiers. We remember. We seek justice. More and more voices join the growing chorus, species that the Empire thought were defeated, broken, or extinct. All alive, all angry, all united. Princess Vera realizes with growing horror that the Empire's subjects haven't been loyal. They've been waiting. Waiting for someone strong enough to stand against their oppressors. You see, Princess, Jack explains, we haven't been alone in watching the Empire. Every species you've conquered has been preparing for this day. We simply gave them hope that change was possible. "This is impossible," Admiral Ross gasps. "Our intelligence reports showed these species were pacified, integrated into the Empire." "Your intelligence reports showed you what you wanted to see," Jack replies. "An empire built on fear and violence can never truly control its subjects. It can only suppress them temporarily." Princess Vera watches as the tactical display updates. Ships are appearing throughout the galaxy. Not just human vessels, but ships from dozens of species, all bearing the same symbol, a broken chain against. A field of stars. "How long?" she asks quietly. "How long have we been planning this?" Jack considers. "Since the Empire destroyed its first peaceful world 2 centuries ago. We've been building alliances, sharing technology, preparing for the day when we could free the galaxy from tyranny." "But why now? Why reveal yourselves now?" "Because Earth was the final test," Jack says sadly. "We put our most innocent people there. No weapons, no defenses, no military technology. We wanted to see if the Empire could show mercy to a truly helpless world." The bridge falls silent as the weight of that revelation sinks in. Earth had been a test of mercy, and the Empire had failed completely. 3 billion people, Jack continues, his voice heavy with grief. 3 billion innocent souls who died because the Empire cannot conceive of peace. Their deaths demand justice. Princess Vera looks around at her officers. For the first time, she sees fear in their eyes. Real fear. Not the fear of defeat, but the fear of judgment. "What kind of justice?" she asks. "The same justice your Empire has always promised," Jack replies. "The strong rule, the weak serve. But Princess, you're not the strong ones anymore." The human ships begin to move, not into attack formation, but into a perfect sphere around the Imperial fleet. At the same time, ships from the liberated species begin arriving from all directions. "We're surrounded," Admiral Ross reports unnecessarily. Jack's image flickers, and suddenly he's standing on the bridge of the Starbreaker, as if he had materialized out of thin air. The guards raise their weapons, but Jack holds up a hand. "I'm not here to fight," he says calmly. "I'm here to offer you the same choice you gave to Earth." Princess Vera stares at him. "How are you here?" "Our shields, our sensors, ... "Princess, you're still thinking like conquerors. You assume might makes right, that superior technology equals superiority. But you never learned the most important lesson." "What lesson?" Jack's eyes are sad but determined. "Sometimes the greatest. Strength comes from knowing when not to use your power. We could have destroyed your Empire centuries ago. We chose not to, hoping you would learn mercy. And now? Now we give you one last chance. Surrender the Empire's military forces. Stand trial for your crimes. Accept judgment from those you've wronged." Princess Vera looks at the tactical display. Thousands of ships now surround her fleet, all waiting for her decision. "And if we refuse?" The reckoning asterisk Princess Vera stares at Jack standing impossibly on her bridge. Her guards remain frozen, weapons raised but useless. Every instinct screams at her to fight, to maintain the Empire's proud tradition of never surrendering. "You're asking me to destroy everything my family built," she says finally. "Your family built it on the graves of innocence," Jack replies. "Every world conquered, every species enslaved, every civilization destroyed. Is that really a legacy worth preserving?" Admiral Ross steps forward, his face red with anger. "Princess, we cannot yield to these ... these primitives. The Empire has ruled for 1,000 years. And in those 1,000 years," Jack says, turning to face the Admiral, "how many peaceful worlds did you destroy? How many children did you orphan? How many species did you drive extinct? We brought order to the galaxy." Admiral Ross shouts. "We united warring tribes under one banner." "You brought tyranny," Jack corrects. You silenced opposition through fear. That's not unity, Admiral. That's oppression. Princess Vera watches the exchange, her mind racing. Around her, the bridge crew looks uncertain. Some appear defiant, others fearful. A few seem almost relieved. What guarantee do we have? She asks, if we surrender, what happens to us? Jack's expression softens slightly. You'll face trial. Your crimes will be judged by representatives of every species you've wronged. If you're found guilty, you'll face justice. Death, you mean? That depends on your accusers. Some may demand execution. Others may choose mercy. But Princess, consider this. It's more justice than you ever offered your victims. The communication system crackles to life. Reports pour in from across the galaxy. Imperial garrisons are surrendering without firing a shot. Entire sectors are declaring independence. The Empire's control is crumbling in real time. It's over, Jack says quietly. With or without your surrender, the Empire is finished. The question is how many more people die before you accept that reality. Princess Vera closes her eyes, thinking of her father, the Emperor. He had taught her that strength meant never backing down, never showing weakness. But as she opens her eyes and looks at Jack, she wonders if her father had been wrong about everything. You could have destroyed us. At any time, she says. Why didn't you? Because destruction is easy, Jack replies. Building something better is hard. We hoped the Empire might change, might learn to coexist peacefully with others. Every species deserves a chance at redemption. Even us. Even you. But that chance ends now. Choose, Princess. Surrender and face judgment, or condemn your people to a war you cannot win. Admiral Ross draws his sidearm. I won't let you surrender the Empire to aliens. Before he can fire, the weapon simply vanishes from his hand. Jack hasn't moved, but suddenly there are other humans on the bridge, dozens of them, appearing as if from nowhere. How? Admiral Ross gasps. Technology you can't understand, Jack explains. We've been studying physics while you've been studying conquest. We've learned to manipulate space and time itself. Princess Vera realizes the truth. The Empire had been playing with toys while humanity had been unlocking the fundamental secrets of the universe. The choice is yours, Princess, Jack says. But choose quickly. Every moment you delay, more Imperial forces are surrendering. Your officers are already abandoning their posts. She looks at her bridge crew. Half of them are gone, having quietly left their stations. The remaining officers look to her with desperate eyes. If I surrender, she asks, what happens to my people? The civilians? The non-military citizens? They'll be free, Jack says. Free to choose their own governments, their own futures. We're not conquerors, Princess. We're liberators. And the Imperial military? Those who committed war crimes will face trial. Those who were just following orders will be given a chance to serve the new Galactic Council we're establishing. Princess Vera thinks of the billions of Imperial citizens across the galaxy. Soldiers who had known only military service. Civilians who had lived their entire lives under Imperial rule. What would happen to them in this new order? Your new council, she says. Will it be just another empire with humanity at its head? Jack shakes his head. No, humanity will have one voice among many. Every species will be represented equally. We've learned that no single race should hold power over others, even after everything we've done. Especially after everything you've done. The galaxy needs to heal, Princess. That healing starts with justice, but it ends with forgiveness. Princess Vera looks one last time at the tactical display. The Empire's forces are scattered, outnumbered, and outgunned. But more than that, they're isolated. The galaxy itself has risen against them. She thinks of her father's words about strength and weakness. Perhaps true strength wasn't about never surrendering. Perhaps it was about knowing when to stop fighting and start healing. Quote, she begins, then stops. The weight of 1,000 years of empire history presses down on her shoulders. The new Dawn Princess Vera takes a deep breath and makes her choice. I surrender. The words echo across the bridge, carrying the weight of 1,000 years of imperial history. Admiral Ross collapses into his chair, while other officers stand in stunned silence. I surrender the Imperial fleet, she continues, her voice growing stronger. I surrender all military forces under my command. I accept responsibility for the Empire's crimes and will face whatever judgment you deem fit. Jack nods solemnly. History will remember this moment, Princess. The day the galaxy began to heal. Across the Empire, the surrender broadcasts reach every corner of Imperial space. On dozens of worlds, Imperial governors lay down their weapons. In remote sectors, battle fleets power down their weapons and await instruction from the new Galactic Council. But not everyone accepts the surrender. In the Outer Rim, Admiral Kane, the same officer who had once advised Princess Vera, rallies the remaining hardliners. We will never surrender. He broadcasts to the scattered Imperial forces. The Empire is eternal. Fight to the last ship. Jack receives the transmission and sighs. There are always those who cannot accept change. Princess, what would you tell them? Princess Vera steps forward to the communication console. Admiral Kane, this is Princess Vera. I'm ordering you to stand down. The Empire is finished. Don't throw away more lives for a lost cause. You're weak, Kane responds. Your father would be ashamed. The Empire doesn't surrender to aliens. The Empire doesn't exist anymore, Princess Vera replies calmly. I'm not ordering you as a princess. I'm asking you as someone who has seen enough death. But Kane cuts the transmission. Within hours, his forces launch desperate attacks on human ships. The battles are brief and decisive. The Imperial remnants fight bravely, but they're fighting with outdated technology against opponents who have mastered the laws of physics itself. Jack watches the final battles with sadness. Even now, some choose destruction over redemption. They're soldiers, Princess Vera says. They only know how to fight. Then we'll teach them something new. Those who survive, those who surrender, they'll be given a choice. They can help build the new galaxy, or they can retire to peaceful lives. Months pass. The trials begin on a neutral station constructed specifically for this purpose. Representatives from every species wronged by the Empire gather to hear testimony and pass judgment. Princess Vera stands before the tribunal, no longer wearing imperial regalia, but simple clothes. She listens as witness after witness describes the Empire's crimes, the destroyed homeworlds, the enslaved populations, the genocide of entire species. I cannot undo what was done, she says when given the chance to speak. I cannot bring back the dead or rebuild the destroyed worlds. But I can ensure that future generations learn from our mistakes. The tribunal deliberates for weeks. Some species demand execution. Others call for life imprisonment. But gradually, a different voice emerges, one calling for restorative justice rather than retribution. Let her live, says Commander Voss of the Kelton Resistance. Let her spend her remaining years helping to rebuild what the Empire destroyed. Death is too easy. Let her earn redemption through service. The final verdict is unanimous. Princes. Vera is sentenced to life in service to the new Galactic Council. She will work to establish schools on formerly imperial worlds, teaching the next generation about peace and cooperation. Years later, Jack visits one of these schools on a world. That was once a harsh imperial prison planet. He finds Princess Vera teaching a class of children from a dozen different species. Do you regret it? He asks after class ends. She considers the question. I regret the Empire's crimes. I regret the lives lost. But I don't regret surrendering. This, she gestures to the children playing together outside, this is what the galaxy should be. Jack nods. The Council has been discussing your parole. You've served 15 years. Many feel you've earned a second chance. A second chance at what? Freedom. The chance to choose your own path. Princess Vera looks out at the sunset over the former prison world, now a thriving agricultural center. I chose my path the day I surrendered. This is where I belong. As night falls, ships from dozens of species arrive and depart from the small spaceport. Trade vessels, diplomatic missions, cultural exchanges, all the things that had been impossible under the Empire's rule. The galaxy had learned to heal. Species that had been enemies for centuries now worked together. The human fleet that had once seemed so terrifying now served as peacekeepers, ensuring that no single species could dominate the other's. In the end, the Empire's greatest mistake hadn't been underestimating humanity's military power. It had been underestimating humanity's capacity for forgiveness. The galaxy was free, and it would never be conquered again. The end. Asterisk.